How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I'm bringing you a video on the fastest way to gold each battle rifle in Modern Warfare 2. Not only this video is going to help you get gold the fastest, but we're going to be talking about how to get platinum and poly, and I'm going to be providing you weapon builds for each stage of the weapon that you're going to be doing, whether that's leveling the gun up and golding it, but I'm also going to give you setups for platinum and polyatomic as well. So there's going to be timestamps down below. We're going to be talking about general info at the beginning of this video, but if you want to skip ahead to the weapons, you can do so. But basically the way that you get gold in this game is you have 4 weapon challenges that are your base challenges. You complete those, you unlock the gold camo challenge. This will be 3 kills without dying 10 times. And then once you have 4 gold guns for battle rifles, we'll have to do the platinum challenge, which is 25 long shots. And then once you have 51 guns platinum, you will unlock the polyatomic challenge, and this will be 25 headshots. For the 3 kills without dying and the headshots, they're pretty easy. Now, some tips for platinum. Basically what I would do is, if you have a tier 1 shoot house playlist, definitely play that. But regardless, I would play shoot house even if it's hardcore or not. Basically, sit on the wall. If you're struggling getting kills on that, make sure you mount. And one thing you can also do is run smokes, cold-blooded, and a thermal sight, and this will make it so the enemies are not able to see you as well and basically give you the edge in those gunfights. So that's what I would do for platinum. But before we get into each gun specifically and all their setups and challenges for them, I wanted to say, for the setups that I'm about to provide you, you don't exactly have to go for them if you don't have a certain amount of attachments, because you may have to level up other guns to get these attachments. So if you don't have those guns done or leveled up, don't bother. I would basically just look at these setups as like a blueprint. And then if you're playing like hardcore or something, this really won't matter what setups you're using, but don't sweat it if you don't have certain attachments for these setups. Just try to make your builds as close to mine, because in my opinion, I think these are the best setups for the guns in this game. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is for the battle rifles that start in semi-automatic, so the FTAC Recon and the Lachmann 7.62. You can switch these to full auto. Definitely do not though, because if you keep them in semi-auto, they will one shot to the head. But if you switch them to full auto, they will take 2 bullets to shoot in the head, as you can see in this clip. So definitely use the ones that are meant to be in semi-auto when using them. But with all that being said, we're going to talk about each specific gun now, and we're going to be starting with the Lachmann 7.62. The challenges for the Lachmann 7.62 that you get from top to bottom in order in which that you unlock them are going to be 50 kills, 50 ADS kills, 20 mounted kills, and 10 double kills. These are pretty easy. If you're struggling with the mounted kills, just use a deployable shield. This will make it so you can deploy and mount anywhere that you want, and so you don't really have to stick to certain walls on certain maps. But overall, this isn't really that difficult. But let's talk about the setups that I have for this, and it's 2 setups. The first setup right here is what I would use in general for this gun, and this is the setup that I used for polyatomic for the headshots. And then moving on to my setup that I would use for long shots, I changed out the muzzle for this range extending barrel, and this basically makes it so my one-shot headshot range is extended, and this can make it where those long shots are a little bit easier to get. But that's everything for Lachmann 7.62. Now we're going to move on to the SO14. So the challenges for the SO14 in order from top to bottom in which that you unlock them are going to be 50 kills, 50 ADS, 10 doubles, and 30 prones. These are pretty easy. The prone kills are annoying, but if you're playing shipment, shoot house, these will come naturally and you shouldn't have that big of a problem. But let's talk about my setup. And this is a setup I would use for the gun normally, and is the setup that I used while getting the headshots for polyatomic. But let's talk about the setup that I would use for long shots for platinum. And basically what I did here was take off the rear grip and put this muzzle on, and it's the same thing with the Lachmann 7.62. But now we're going to talk about the TAQ-V. So for the TAQ-V, aka the Scar H, the challenges in order from top to bottom in which that you unlock them are going to be 50 kills, 15 point blanks, 15 behind kills, and 20 mounted kills. This one, in terms of challenges, is by far the most annoying for all of the battle rifles. But if you're struggling with point blanks, basically what I tried to do was jump at people and get super close to them. If you're playing shipment, you're not going to have any trouble doing this. And then behind kills, all you have to do is just camp a little bit more. And then if you're struggling with mounted kills, this is pretty simple. Just use a deployable shield. This will make it where you can mount anywhere on the map, and you won't have to stick to certain walls. So like I said, this is definitely the most annoying one to do. But let's talk about setups, and this setup right here is what I would use normally. And honestly, this is going to be really good for mobility. You're going to have a decent time channeling ARs at distance and SMGs at close. But let's talk about my setup for long shots. And basically it's the exact same setup as before. I just put a range extending muzzle on it, and this basically makes it easier to get that 2-tap range. One thing you can do for this is take off the rear grip and put optic on, and this will make it where you have a clean sight picture. Personally though, I like using the iron sights on the Scar. But speaking of an optic, we're going to be talking about my headshot build for polyatomic, and that's exactly what I did. I have my first build, take off the rear grip, put an optic on, and if you're fine with using this gun without an optic and you love the iron sights, definitely just use the regular build that I had before. But if you do prefer an optic, this is definitely a good build to use in general. I just wanted to bring up the fact that I personally would not use an optic for headshots, but if you do, definitely go for it. Whatever is better for you, you should definitely do. But that's it for the Scar. Now we're going to talk about the FTAC Recon. And the 4 challenges for the FTAC Recon are going to be in order from top to bottom in which you unlock them are going to be 50 kills, 10 doubles, 50 suppressor kills, and 30 crouch kills. So for suppressor kills, right now I'm going to bring up my build that I use normally. If you are using a suppressor, you can take off the optic and put any suppressor on it, doesn't matter. Or you could take off the laser and then put on the suppressor, or you could take off the mag. You don't feel like you need the 5 extra bullets. But overall, this setup is what I would use normally and for headshots. But honestly, I'm kind of split between using an optic and not using an optic. I like using both. And honestly, if you don't want to use an optic, just take off the optic and put the Seiken rear grip, I think it's called, and this will basically give you a little bit more recoil control. But overall, this setup is what I would use normally and for headshots. But now let's talk about my long shot build for platinum. And basically what I did here was take off the magazine and put on a muzzle, and then I also swapped out the stock for this one. And honestly, one thing you can do is take off the laser and put the magazine back on. But for me personally, I just like having the ADS, and after I get a kill anyway with this gun, I'm going to reload, so that doesn't really matter that much in general to me. But if you don't want the extra bullets, definitely take off the laser. And that's everything for the FTAC Recon. And honestly, the battle rifles are probably one of, or if not the easiest categories to finish in this game. In my opinion, they have great mobility at close range because of the certain builds that you can make them, and especially because of their headshot multiplier. A lot of the guns are really solid, and then obviously at range they're going to be really good as well. But let me know down in the comments below what's your favorite battle rifle in Modern Warfare 2, and if you found this video and setups helpful, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Anyways guys, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.